What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Blazers Uprise, live powered by BetUS here on a Monday. Today we have an injury update to talk about, and that is in regards to Anfernee Simons and DeAndre Ayton. We're going to talk about what their returns might mean for this Portland Trail Blazer team that is red hot and rolling off a 3-game win streak. And also, we got 8 games for picks against the spread. One, everybody has already picked as it tipped off at 4:10. I was running a little bit late, but we got our picks in for that, and we are ready to go. Eric, how's your Monday treating you?
What's up, Dory? Just walked in the door right on the stream. I didn't even hear the injury updates, so I'm looking forward to you sharing that with me.
Yeah, I read a tweet about him, vaguely, and I made a stream about it. So, I'll have to remind myself because there was a tweet that I will read off on stream, and basically, actually, I do remember. Is basically both guys are participating somewhat in practice, but aren't a full go. So the conversation is mostly going to be around, okay, when they bring them back, how do they handle their minutes? How do they handle the rotation? That sort of thing, because that, of course, is going to be a hot topic when these guys return. A lot of fans are hoping that they just keep running out the lineup they've been running out there because it has turned into some good results. But you know what didn't turn into good results is picks against the spread on Friday. On Friday, it was a rough day across the board. 75 and 94 on the day collectively. We are now 33 games below 500. And you know what's funny is normally you would expect double down records to be much better than overall records, but that has not played out in past years. This year, that actually is the case. We are 10 percentage points better picking our double downs than we are picking actual games. And if you look at our double downs on Friday, we were a collective 8-5 in double downs, despite going 75 and 94. Eric, you're still up top, but a 5-8 day. Now you're only 2 games ahead of Trevin, 2.5 ahead of Crushables. Both of them were 9-4, the only winning records on the day. Tough day for 503, 3-10. Everybody else went 5-8 or 6-7, and it sucked for me because the final game was Memphis and Golden State, and Golden State had that one in the bag, and I had Golden State and you had Memphis, so I would have been within 2 games of you, but Memphis backdoor covered to save that one for you.
I think we were both 0-7 at one point, so I'll take 5-8.
Yeah, I was 0-7, and then I almost finished 6-0 if Memphis didn't come back in that one. It was quite the eventful day. But we got 8 games for today. The first game was Detroit and Chicago. We've made our picks for this game, but I will plug them in. I ended up taking the Pistons. They've been playing good basketball. I still have not seen the score to this game, but I made my pick in our mod chat. Chat ended up going with the Chicago Bulls. And we will plug the rest of these in as we go. Let's see, sorry, let me save some screenshots of stuff that's been sent to me. Yeah, it's a little tougher to start streams on time this season for good reasons, but I do my best. We had Crushables go with the Pistons. We had Pistons for Stephen Vaughn and Bulls for 503. What were the picks in the Discord?
Trevin was Bulls, I think.
Brendan, Javon, and Connor before the stream started went Pistons.
And I had Bulls.
You had Bulls?
I put it in chat right below them.
Yeah.
Cool. Aeromancer's Pistons. Jackson is Pistons.
Alrighty.
And Zach is Bulls.
Cool.
And Jackson did double down on this at 3 o'clock, so.
Yep. And then Trevin ended up going with the Bulls as well. So those are our picks for this first game. It sounds like the Bulls are up. We made all these picks before the stream or before seeing the game. So it was a 8v5 in favor of the Pistons. This was only 4:10 game. Every other game is yet to tip off. Next tip-off times are in 10 minutes at 4:40. So if you want in on this action, check out BetUS. But in the next game, we have, I think, our biggest spread of the entire season, as you have the New York Knicks hosting the Washington Wizards. The Knicks are 14.5-point home favorites.
All right, we got Sadiq Bey and Bilal Coulibaly out for the Wizards. For the Knicks, they're without Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, Kevin McCullough, and Miles McBride.
All right. I'm going with the Knicks in a blowout win.
I'm just going to take the points and go with the Wizards.
What about chat votes? Is that after? What do you mean, J King? I did a chat poll before the stream even went live, so that's how chat voted in time. Also, I got my cat. My cat. Alrighty. What are the picks in the Discord, Eric?
All right, in Discord we have Jackson is Wizards. Zach is Knicks.
Alrighty.
Aeromancer Knicks.
Alrighty, Crushables went Pistons. Stephen Vaughn went Pistons. And 503 went Knicks. Alright, so we need Trevin, Connor, Javon, Brendan, chat. Gonna end their poll. 64% of the vote for the New York Knicks on that massive spread line. We got Javon going Knicks, Trevin going Wizards. Can you read me chat picks?
Yeah.
Essentially. We need Connor and Brendan.
Connor's Knicks. Brendan is Knicks.
Alright, so despite the massive spread, it's still 8v5 in favor of the Knicks for this game. Next game, we have the Miami Heat hosting the 2-10 Philadelphia 76ers. The Heat are 4-point home favorites.
All right, in this one we have Tyrese Maxey out for the 76ers, Jaime Jaquez and Terry Rozier out for the Heat.
Alrighty. I'm going Heat.
76ers.
Alright, Eric's going Sixers. We got 503 going with the Heat. We got Stephen Vaughn going with the Heat. And we got Crushables going with the Heat. Picks from chat. We got Sixers for Javon, Trevin, Brendan. And we got Heat for Connor. Need Discord picks if you could read those off for me.
Yeah. Aeromancer is Heat.
Okay.
Jackson Heat. Zach Heat.
Alright, and chat is going 76ers, 53% of the vote, which makes this another 8v5, this time in favor of the Miami Heat. Next game, we got the Toronto Raptors hosting the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are 3.5-point road favorites.
All right, in this one, we have Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Isaiah Jackson, James Wiseman, Ben Shepherd, and Miles Turner all out for the Pacers. For the Raptors, we got Jacoby Walter, Bruce Brown, Emmanuel Quickly, Kelly Olynyk, Scotty Barnes, and Bruno Fernando all out. You're muted, by the way.
I've been muted this whole time?
Yeah.
You just now said something? What do you look? Are you preoccupied?
Yeah, just got home. Got to do some stuff.
Got you.
But
those are the picks that I was literally just reading off those picks as I put them in. Eric, Zach, Jackson, Arrow.
We got Pacers for Arrow.
Okay.
Pacers for Jackson. Pacers for Zach.
All right. Chat is going with the Pacers, and we are waiting on
Raptors.
Eric. Who'd you go with?
Raptors.
All right. Eric's going Raptors with Trevin and Steven. It's a 10v3. Tristan, I'll answer that question in chat. Next game, we got the Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Houston Rockets. The Bucks are 3-point home favorites.
All right. The Rockets are healthy. No one injured. The Bucks are without Chris Middleton and Ryan Rollins. Dame is making his return to the lineup.
Nice. So I was going to answer in chat, but Robert Williams still has another year left on his contract, so it's a little early to talk about extension there, especially with how injury prone he is and could potentially be in that time. Alrighty. Let's see here. We got 503 going with the Bucks. We got Stephen Vaughn going Bucks. And we got Crushables going with the Houston Rockets. We got Rockets for Arrow. We got Bucks for Jackson.
Zach is Rockets.
All right, picks made in chat. We got Bucks for Javon, Brendan, Connor, and Rockets for Trevin. Chat is going with the Milwaukee Bucks, 73% of the vote. 73% of the vote for chat with the Bucks. Who are you going with, Eric?
I am going to go with... I'll go with the Bucks as well. JP Savvy says, no way Steven is going Bucks. First time he's picked Dame in his life.
I'm going to go Rockets. So we got an 8v5 in favor of the Bucks. He actually has picked the Bucks multiple times this year, I believe. So, but also Dame was out, so who knows. Next game, we got the Suns hosting the Orlando Magic. The Magic 4.5-point road favorites.
All right, in this one, the Magic are without Paulo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr. The Suns are without Colin Gillespie, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Yusuf Nurkic.
This is a tough one. There's a lot of close spreads and tough spreads. All right.
I'm going to take the Magic.
Eric's going Magic. We got Crushables Magic. We got Steven Magic.
Zach Magic. Aeromancer Magic.
Alright.
Jackson Sons. What's so funny, by the way?
The cat was standing at the side table with the giveaway wheel on it. It was funny. It was like on his hind legs. I finally warmed up this cat to this room. It's getting used to having a bigger house. Alright, 503 went with Sons. Need Trevin, Connor, Javon,
Brendan. Trevin is Magic. Javon Sons. Brendan Magic. We're the Magicians.
This is tough.
Connor Sons.
I'm also gonna go Sons, I guess. And Magic at 73% of the vote for chat. All right, 2 games left. Next game we got, that was an 8v5 by the way, lots of those. Next game we got the Kings against the Hawks. The Hawks on the second night of a back-to-back. The Kings are 3.5-point home favorites.
For the Hawks, they're without Kobe Buffkin, Seth Lundy, Cody Zeller, and Vit Krejci. The Kings are without Devin Carter, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan. Plus, doubtful for this game is Domantas Sabonis.
These injury reports are starting to get a little gross, man.
Because Sabonis probably isn't playing, I'm gonna take the Hawks.
All right, you're going Hawks. I'm going Kings, I guess. This is one of those gross injury-plagued games between a mid-team and a slightly less mid-team with good players hurt.
Aeromancer's Kings.
All right.
Jackson Hawks. Zach Hawks.
All right. Crushables went Kings. Stephen Vaughn went Hawks. 503 went Kings. So just need the picks in chat. Chat is going Hawks 62% of the vote. So just need Connor, Trevin, Javon, Brendan.
Just a second, I'm trying to find if Steph Curry's playing in the next game or not.
I'll find them. All right, we got Hawks for Brendan and Javon. Trevin and Connor are going Kings. All right, so we finally got a 7v6 in favor of the Hawks, and in the final game, we have the Los Angeles Clippers hosting the 10-2 Golden State Warriors. Golden State is a 5-point road favorite.
All right. DeAnthony Melton, Kevon Looney out for the Warriors. Questionable are Lindy Waters and Steph Curry. I don't know how reputable this is, but saw something that he's likely to play, but hasn't been ruled either way yet. For the Clippers, they're without PJ Tucker and Kawhi Leonard, and Mo Bamba is questionable.
I'm going to go Warriors. We got Warriors for Crushables, Clippers for Steven, and Warriors for 503.
I'm going to go Clippers.
Eric is Clippers.
Warriors for Brendan, Trevin, and Connor.
Cool. Brendan.
Also
Connor.
Zach and Aeromancer.
All right.
Clippers for Javon and Jackson. He didn't put cloppers.
Wow. Very surprised by that. We got Warriors for chat, 75% of the vote. This is a 9v4 in favor of the Golden State Warriors. Now, time for double downs.
That's going to be chat's double down.
The Warriors.
75% was the highest. And that is also Aeromancer's double down.
Cool. 503 and Crushables both doubled down on the Kings.
Rockets for Zach. It was Pistons for Jackson.
I'm going to double down on the Heat. Who are you doubling down on there?
I am going to double down against you with the 76ers.
Oh boy. If they finally figure things out, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed.
Oh, they will.
Alright, I need Trevin, Connor, Javon. Steven double down on the Pistons.
Javon is Suns. Connor is Kings. Bucks for Brendan.
Alright,
And
just need Trevin.
Trevin 76ers with me against you and your stupid Heat.
The Heat have always been one of my cursed teams, the Heat and the Suns, so we'll see. We'll see. But you got 503 Crushables, Connor going Kings. You got Chat and Arrow going Warriors. You and Trevin against me. You with the Sixers. I got Heat. Steven and Jackson went with the Pistons. And Zach is on his own with the Rockets. Brendan on his own with the Bucks. Javon on his own with the Suns. That concludes picks against the spread. Now, we got to talk about a report. Let me find it so I can just read it off verbatim. But obviously the narrative the last week has been the Blazers look much better without DeAndre Ayton and Anfernee Simons. And what does that mean for the future of both those guys? How much stock can we put into potential addition by subtraction? And it's been an interesting conversation to have. The Blazers on NBA.com are 22nd in their power rankings. It's kind of weird to be that high. That's probably the highest that they've been in like 2 years. But of course, you know, it's going to be tough to maintain this level of play. Sean Hyken had a tweet that said Chauncey Billups says Anfernee Simons and DeAndre Ayton are both TBD, to be determined, for Wednesday in OKC. Both have been getting work in but aren't fully participating in practice yet. So we got the injury update yesterday that DeAndre Ayton underwent additional imaging and had a deep contusion of the proximal phalanx, something like that. And updates will be given when appropriate. So I think if I had to guess which one is more likely to play, it'd probably be Anfernee Simons. And, I talked about on a previous stream about kind of what he's dealing with. I just don't know how fast they're going to ramp Ayton back up. And this just feels a little bit awkward, Eric, because it's like, with how well this lineup is playing, I don't want them to change it. And I wonder if they feel the same way. And it just creates a bit of a conundrum because obviously you're not going to hold these guys out permanently.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? And what will happen when these guys are ready to go? And I think with Anfernee Simons, it's pretty obvious. Like, he'll start instead of Scoot. Scoot has had some struggles lately. Hasn't necessarily been the best. He's doing some other things well, passing. Had 10 assists last game. His defense has been improved this year. Might be the most improved thing. But, he's still not shooting the ball the best and a little turnover prone. So I think it's pretty obvious, like, Ant plays instead of him, but then it's like what happens to Banton's minutes. Rupert played 10 minutes last game, Banton played 25. Like, Banton probably gets Rupert probably gets his minutes cut. Those maybe go to Banton. With how well Banton's playing, you have to play him a ton of minutes, so who does Anfernee Simons replace? Like, that is the question. Does he just take Banton's minutes and Banton is back to getting limited playing time? I don't see how you can do that with how well he's played. And then the other conversation is DeAndre Ayton, how much he cuts into Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams III minutes, and do they start playing Rob, Will, and Clingan together again, which is just awful floor spacing. So it just creates a conundrum rotation-wise, and if they start playing those guys and they get destroyed, I mean, the narrative is going to be even stronger that those guys don't help the Blazers win basketball games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get off to a rough start against OKC because they're really good, and people will forget that we were down 25-9 to the Hawks, and it wasn't looking very good. We're like, oh, great, we're back to this again. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything if they play well right away with both of those guys or they suck. But, I think it's more just how those guys can fit back in, and I think it's on both of them to play within the framework of what this team has been the last 3 days instead of trying to get theirs, which both of them have been prone to do at times.
But part of the framework is who specifically the Blazers have been playing, and that is the tough thing, especially with DeAndre Ayton. The Blazers' center play has been so much better since he went out with this finger injury, and bringing him back, I don't see how you can give him more than like 25 minutes a game. And 25 even still feels like a lot. If I had my way, he would be the third string center right now. And it's not necessarily because like Clingan is better than him, even though I think you can definitely make a case for that. But Clingan is a better fit. I mean, you know what? I do think Clingan is better than him. Clingan defensively has had an insane impact on this team. There is a stat, shout out to the Haber stat. He was on a podcast with your guy, Kevin O'Connor. And
my guy.
he was on a podcast and he said there's something like only 3 or 4 centers in the league, like their teams score less than, what was the stat? It was something weird. It was something like per 100 possessions, opponents score less than 50 points in the paint or 40 points in the paint against like 3 NBA centers. And when Clingan's on the floor per 100 possessions, teams are only scoring 37 points in the paint. And it's like one of the lowest marks in the league. Everybody likes to look at blocks and steals and try and judge defense off those numbers. But Clingan's impact is far more than just the blocks. Like, he shuts down the paint, and teams do not score in the paint with him on the floor. And that is more of a positive impact to either side of the floor than DeAndre Ayton has. And then you look at Clingan's screens and the way he rolls, like how big he is, the way he can finish plays, finish dunks at the rim, doesn't take bad shots. He has a more positive impact on this basketball team than DeAndre Ayton right now. That is my opinion. I know some people won't share that opinion, but I think it's a hard opinion to argue just because Clingan has been a true difference maker defensively, and Ayton's offense isn't particularly efficient. His screens aren't good. We all know that. He's not a floor spacer. So how do you go from Clingan and Rob Will to, if Ayton comes back, we're going to play him 30, 32 minutes a game again? That just feels very wrong to me because it's getting in the way of development, and it's not even what would help the team win games right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have a back-to-back coming up Friday, Saturday, so Rob Will wouldn't play in one of those two games, presumably the second one. So maybe you hold Ayton out until that one and then get him some minutes in that one and then try to figure it out after that game. But yeah, it kind of sucks when you have a player like that you know isn't necessarily going to be the guy in the future, and you have the guy waiting in the wings, and he's played relatively well given an opportunity this early in his career, and like to keep giving him that opportunity. I don't want to take that away from him right now.
Yep, absolutely. So it's just going to be really fascinating to see how they handle that, man, because it's going to feel wrong if they go back to playing him the way they were playing him. You can't, if you're trying to win basketball games, Robert Williams should be playing at least 20 minutes a game, and Clingan should be playing at least 15 to 20 minutes a game. That doesn't leave many minutes left, and I'm a little bit worried that in order to get these guys more minutes, they're just going to run that Robert Williams-Clingan lineup more often. But the thing is it neutralizes what one of them does best, which is protect the rim, because Robert Williams is basically playing the floor, so he has to defend more out on the perimeter instead of playing in the paint as the defensive center that he is. And then offensively, right, like these guys have been thriving, finishing plays, getting putbacks around the rim, that sort of thing, rolling hard to the rim. When you got both of them on the floor, teams can pack the paint even more and take that away. So I hate the lineups with both Clingan and Robert Williams in them. And people say, play Robert Williams next to Ayton. Some people think Ayton's most natural position is the power forward spot. Ayton is like a worse spacer than Robert Williams and Clingan, and it's because he's not in an area of the floor that spaces the floor at all. Like, people think about floor spacing just in terms of three-point shooting and being able to stretch your defender out to the three-point line, but you can create space for driving lanes by being in the dunker spot, rolling to the rim hard, setting good screens, that sort of stuff. And the Blazers have more space with their driving lanes without DeAndre Ayton on the floor. DeAndre Ayton, as we've talked about on previous postgame shows, doesn't set good screens and then loves to just hang out around the free throw line, and it clogs things up even more than Robert Williams or Donovan Clingan do. So where are you going to play Ayton if you're running a Robert Williams or Donovan Clingan pick and roll? Ayton's going to be sitting on the three-point line. I know he's made a couple threes this year, but he's still not proven. He's still not a floor spacer. His guy will just go in there and clog everything up. And then, you got to rely on DeAndre Ayton hitting three-point shots. I mean, it's not as efficient offense as what they've been running. And I just hate that, the pick and roll that they've been running, that they've been striving with. Some of these pick and roll lobs that they've been throwing can get shut down if you play DeAndre Ayton at the 4. So that's why DeAndre Ayton's natural position is not the power forward position, and playing him at the power forward position next to Robert Williams or Donovan Clingan is not a solution to anything. So this center conundrum is just going to be fascinating to watch, and it's why they have to figure out a way to get rid of DeAndre Ayton, or they can completely piss him off and play him only a few minutes or bench him or whatever. And he's not going to take that lying down, so they are just stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm not so sure you can bench him and not have it become a huge issue in the locker room. I don't think he can handle that, and that's one of the unfortunate things about him. I don't think he would respond well to that, and there's already some rumblings about some relationships on the team. So I don't know if that's going to be the greatest thing for this team to just completely shut him off and have him basically go crazy in the locker room or get all mad or frustrated. Because I think a lot of his enthusiasm right now is kind of manufactured because he thinks he's going to be starting over Donovan Clingan. So he can fake like he's, oh, yeah, I'm so happy we drafted him. But deep down, he hated that pick and like doesn't want us to have more centers because he wants to be the center.
Yeah, or he's just happy to be collecting paychecks. Honestly, it'd be a good thing if he's just happy to collect paychecks at this point. Because then maybe he won't throw such a fit. I don't know. But it's just going to be fascinating to see it play out, man. And I already know I'm going to be very frustrated the game that Ayton returns with either Robert Williams or Donovan Clingan's minutes. And the funny thing is I think pretty much the rest of the fan base is starting to share that same sentiment. Even people that really liked DeAndre Ayton and really wanted DeAndre Ayton, they're coming around to the idea that, yeah, this team would be better off without him. And, there's a lot of people that say, oh, they don't have to trade guys right now. Like, they can always wait to trade somebody. It seems like with Ayton that is different, especially after this past week. Like, you don't want him getting in the way of Donovan Clingan, and Robert Williams is just simply a better center than Ayton. Ayton is, in my opinion, the third most positively impactful center on this team, and he's making the most money of anybody on the roster. So you got to find a way to offload him. You got to find a way to get rid of him. That's the only solution, but that's going to take some time, and that's going to be hard to do even around the trade deadline. So it's funny how the prize of the Dame trade has turned into the biggest obstacle for the rebuild right now.
But he was so good last season, Tori.
Oh, man. Yep. So we'll see. We'll see. Anything else you want to add to this conversation?
No, I mean, this is exactly why we didn't want to go into the season like this. I mean, I guess it was fine this season if Robert Williams wasn't healthy, but as long as you have Robert Williams on the roster and he's not hurt, I don't like having this situation. But if he gets hurt and we trade Ayton, we also have a bit of a depth issue as well, because then Reith would be our backup, and I don't know. It's not the greatest situation either if we're still trying to be competitive. So I don't know how it's going to play out.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see who plays on Wednesday. That Wednesday stream should be a fun one, man. I mean, we'll see whether the Blazers get spanked or if they're competitive. Then that'll be a fun post-game stream to have. I'm looking forward to seeing this team get tested against an OKC team that doesn't have Chet Holmgren, doesn't have Isaiah Hartenstein. The Blazers should be able to outplay them in terms of like big man play because they don't even have a big man, but they are one of the best teams in the league, and they have guys that are feisty, competitive, that play bigger than their listed height. So you can't just go into this game like, oh, they're playing Jalen Williams as the biggest player on the floor. Like, we can just abuse that. Nah, he's super strong and been playing well and competing well at that center position. So we'll see how that all goes. And that's going to be a wrap for this edition of Blazers Uprise Live. Good luck to everyone in picks against the spread. I guess I'll check scores on the way out of here, because you have had some games tip off. The Pistons are down 3 to the Bulls right now. The Sixers and Heat are tied with 2:20 left in the first. The Knicks are already up 17 at the end of the first on the Wizards. They were 14.5-point favorites, so that's looking good for those of you that took the Knicks. And the Raptors are up 21-19 over the Pacers. The Bucks and Rockets are tipping off on NBA TV here in a matter of minutes. Dame returns, so we'll see how he looks, and the Rockets are also the Blazers' next in-season tournament opponent on Friday. Man, it's going to piss me off if Ayton comes back on Friday and sells, man. Like,
sells the in-tournament name?
Yeah, sells the NBA Cup, man. So, anyway, anything else, Eric?
No, that's why I said wait till Saturday to play him when Robert Williams doesn't play, and then you can justify it a little bit.
Yep, and then take it from there. Absolutely. Yeah. I wonder if that's their plan. So I wonder if that's why they released that report where there'll be updates when appropriate, and he contused his phalanx. I don't know, man. Anyway, we're out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your Monday evenings. And until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers!